Welcome back to the BSN channel, accompanied with my mum, getting some important insight, some important wisdom for the understanding of the brain, of the soul, the mind. Okay. Anyways, what I would like to talk about is there an effective way in which a couple can argue? Does it have to be sour? Does it have to be, I've got the baked beans on the pan and I'm about to throw it out the window, but I was making it for love? So is there a, how do you say, an efficient way of arguing? Because obviously there needs to be some arguments. Sometimes you have to stop the car, fix the engine. Sometimes your hands get dirty and you have to clean afterwards. But you don't end up breaking the car, do you?
No.
I don't know if that's a good analogy. So I would like to ask my mother's opinion on, is there an effective way to argue? And if there is, how easy is it to argue effectively?
I think it's all about common sense, really. If you, for example, as a couple living together, and there's one getting on your nerves all the time, or you feel like having an argument or having a go at your partner. For example, a woman wants to whinge everything that a guy is
Well, like
doing.
complain.
Yeah, nagging. You didn't do this. Oh, why did you do this? And oh, you shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I was going to do it. Why did you put this one here? Why are you leaving things? Or you're not washing up? There's always an argument like that. A woman can pick it very, very easily.
But is that bad or good? What's a bad argument? What's a good argument?
The bad argument is whereby a woman which is, for example, would ignore the guy, the man, for not even being, communicative enough in a relationship. Because the good side is one needs to communicate effectively during, your relationship. If you don't, then there's always going to be an argument, that can end very bitter, which is sad.
Well, we do see this time and time again. Even on like series, episodes, shows of dramas, soaps, you see this horrid way of arguing. This is how it goes. The man has done something wrong.
Yeah.
The lady says you done something wrong. He doesn't like the tone at which she said that, so he starts arguing, sort of like, who are you talking to? Then she ends up saying something that has nothing to do with the point she had, and flares him up even more. Then he says something that is overly drastic, and that ends nearly everything until maybe 2-3 hours later. How do you avoid something like that happening? Does two people have to lower their pride and understand?
One have to.
Oh, one?
Yeah. It's always one.
Why do you say one?
Down. There's always one. Two of them will never. There's always one that calm themselves down or take a walk to calm down the situation. Because if you don't, mainly the women, our hormones is horrible, to be honest. So that man is proving that, they're a man. They are in control. They should be in control. But the woman also is acting as if she's also a man, very bold. And a lot of men don't like a woman acting that manner. They be thinking, look as if I'm living with a man to man, living together. Because if a woman is got very sharp tongue, everything, talking down to the guy like that, it's like two men together. That's why a lot of women get whacked on their faces. And then I agree, they deserve their whacked. Anyway, if a woman is there to insult a guy or the husband that you're nothing, you're this, you're stupid, and you don't even worth a man. Are you even a man, a full man? This can be a very hurtful argument like that. So it takes two to tango, but lots of women is the one that, bring out all this anger from the men. This is the words that we use to entice the argument. It's very bad.
What about compatibility? Does that play a big role in terms of the type of lady with the type of man, whether they're opposites or they are the same type of character?
Yeah, so there can be a couple that one is pretty laid back regardless. So one cannot even intimidate the other at all. So if you meet somebody like that, that is what we call compatible.
So it's like a cushioning effect.
Yeah.
Someone's coming with force, but the other's like a cushion.
Yeah, very, very calm, and then nothing upset the other. So that, whoever that is got, the receiving end. Let's say, for example, you are the vicious one, and the woman is very, very calm woman. So at the end of the day, because you realize this woman is very, very pretty laid back, no matter what you do will upset her. It cannot upset her. So in this case, you would eventually just go along with it and then lay back yourself a little bit rather than being all vicious, So it's hardly for you to be vicious about. So that is more comfortable.
But is it better to be in a relationship where you have to force a change in your own character so you don't have that type of argument?
Yeah, but
Was it better to find someone who can cushion your blow naturally?
It doesn't happen that often.
So there will always be room where you have to return it back to equilibrium.
Yeah.
So you always start off with a negative. You have to bring it back. Is that why it's important to be honest in the beginning of the relationship, to find out all these things?
Yes. You have to be open, when you start a relationship, and be honest, and even tell the person your upbringing and how you are. You're a violent person, or you fight a lot when you was young, or you're a troublemaker, or you've had a jail problem, you've been to jail or anything, or you've been a bad boy. Do you understand? But a lot of people don't give the women, how they've been. And then the woman will see a guy with a suit and tie, they think, oh, I've got Mr. Nice or Mr. Right. So this is my man. And then you get married to this guy, you're living with him. All of a sudden you start seeing violence and everything. And before you know, you have loved the guy already. You fall in love with. And then all this coming from, the blow is coming from nowhere. So in a relationship like that, a lot of people will be thinking, oh, he wasn't like that from the beginning. All of a sudden he's changed. But he didn't tell you that he's violent, to be honest. Beginning probably might have said, it's love. When a guy can see a woman being loved. Don't get me wrong, some women can be violent as well. Some women can be very violent, throwing things up on the men and trying to, be a lot of things like shouting at them, abuse, an insult, make the man feel nothing, as if they are nothing, which is sad. Some women can be violent as well, and very vicious. They can attack gentlemen or somebody who is laid back.
So what's your advice before we end to those who are having horrible arguments? Do you agree that arguments are necessary, or does it have to be controlled?
It needs to be controlled. One needs to back down. Which is, if you still want the relationship, if not, you must cut it short. That's when, if you don't, then that's when the domestic violence comes into it, which is very sad. It shouldn't be the case, because you meet somebody you love, you fall in love with from the start, and you want to make a life together. So I suppose I expect people to be, one should, if you know your man is too, vicious, you just have to lay back. Too fire, can't be, it won't work.
Which links to our recurring theme, which is Osram in Sruma.
Which a shame in Sruma, which is Bosume, shame.
They all link. It's all to do with the harmony of creation.
Of course.
So with the harmony of creation, we need to stay at bay the way we naturally are.
Yeah.
So in this earth, we will have arguments, but you need to be able to control the argument with understanding and wisdom. That's how I understand this.
You're right.
So yes, I just wanted to make sure that we're staying on the theme, which is to do with harmony,
Yeah.
peace, love, serenity. But obviously, you do have the backdrop, which is going to be the arguments, the pain, the misery. It's going to be there.
Yeah.
Just like the night is there for the day. Without the light, without the darkness, you don't see the day.
Yeah.
Goes hand in hand. So if you did enjoy, you want to see more, please mention more topics. It might be something you want to hear my mum say. She won't be in every single video, but we can reserve topics just for her, because there'll be times when I'll be back. Peace.